When you take a massive hit on your trading journey, this is where you truly get tested. And psychologically, it can absolutely destroy you. Now, this is why I'm bringing you this video today, because if you can start to master this box, which is mastering your emotions and having power over the market versus the market having power over you, you will see a dramatic difference in your trading and investing. We just went through one of the biggest crashes. And if you're watching this now, or watching this in the future, you're going to have these certain periods in your journey where something massive happens and you take a big loss. And this is when you are then going to be in control of what do you do next. Do you allow it to control you and destroy you for a long period of time? Or can you actually outwork and outsmart the market by emotionally having a trigger in your brain? I'm going to show you guys a couple of steps that have helped me on my journey, and how the red patches have actually made me make fundamental changes that got me to higher net worth later on. So in the time I took the loss, but afterwards, months later, I ended up way higher than where I was previously. And again, guys, you tick this box, your whole perspective of everything starts to change. Red is no longer scary anymore. Sideways is no longer scary anymore. You need clarity and to realize that every drop comes opportunity, but it also comes with pain. If you stick in that pain for too long, you focused on the wrong thing. You focused on what the market wants you to focus on. The moment you look the other side, you will start to see opportunity and how you can use this to your advantage to get you higher than before. So guys, I have no edits on this video. I have nothing here other than me, a couple of drawings on TradingView, because I think this is one of the most important things in trading is to get through these patches. We just went through one. And I want to speak about this now as it's raw and show you what I do in the specific time to get ready for when the markets start to move up. So like the video up, let's go. Guys, welcome to Sniper channel. If you are new here, hit the subscribe button. And guys, comment below any educational pieces that you want to see next from the channel. I'm purely going to go full education right now, as I do believe that where we are in the market right now as we make this video, it's the most important time to upgrade yourself, important time to empower yourself. Now guys, let's start from the beginning. The market is emotionally driven. Okay, and the market's going to kind of direct the emotions of everyone that's in it. Now, those that have been around or in the market for a longer period of time, they realize not to allow the market to emotionally put them in a direction. They actually learn how to keep control and actually remove emotions, and rather look at the emotions and make decisions off the emotions than actually feeling them. Now, if you're coming through the door and you're still in your first couple of weeks or couple of months, you will highly get emotional, right? Especially if you start maybe doing a little bit of leverage or a little bit more higher risk trading, your emotions will amplify. When things start to go green, you will get excited. You will have this urge to chase things and to get in because you don't want to miss any of the gains. The market knows this. The market knows that as soon as it speeds up, many people are going to fly in and chase it. And that's why you'll tend to see that when moves start to happen, right, when it gets to the fast piece is where it usually comes to an end. And you end up seeing a big drop after and a long phase to the downside. And there's a reason for that. That excitement gets everyone in, and then the drop happens. And when a drop happens, it catches many off of guard, because I like to see people kind of get a little bit drunk. I use the drunk analogy. The more the green, the more drunk you get. Now, we all know when we're drunk, we don't make the best decisions, right? We don't always plan for when things kind of go wrong. And you also can't react the same when you're drunk, right? So we tend to not put stop losses. We tend to put too much money into more riskier assets. I'm not going to lose. I'm winning. I'm a king of the world. I'm a queen of the world, right? I'm beating everything. I don't need to listen to all these type of things. When that big drop happens and you're sitting and you all of a sudden have taken a massive loss, this is where many don't survive, because basically people don't know how to run off of red emotions. You know, the green is so easy because it's that life, it's that dream, right? But the red comes in, it's like, I don't like this anymore. It's not good. I'm done, right? This is not for me. It's a scam. All these things start to go within your head. And what that basically does is it gets you in this mentality that this is not going to work anymore. And you probably end up quitting, right? There's also a phase just before that, though. You kind of get angry. You're angry on what happened. Why did it happen? Right? And this can create something called revenge trading, where all of a sudden you just want to get back at the market. Market just took something from you. You're angry, right? So you go back in. And what tends to happen, and this is the stats, guys, the market can take probably around 30% of your losses, right? The market makes a move, you lose. You know, the other 70% of the losses, right, come from you, right? You are the one that exaggerates. So the market will have a drop, then it will go sideways, and you're so annoyed, you will trade and you'll time things wrong, and you all off of these massive emotions, right? And you end up making mistakes, and you eat more from your portfolio, eat, until you get to a certain point where you're like, you know what? I'm just going to go all in now. It is what it is. And guess what? The market then smacks you out. You are then out of the game. You sit, and you know what the crazy thing is? The moment you're out of the game, the market starts going up again. And that's what drives you crazy. Couple weeks, couple months go by, you hear that it's moving again, you come back, because we don't remember everything over many months. You come back and the same thing starts to happen. So this market has a great way to trigger something in you for you to make mistakes, right? And then the market allows you to make mistakes. Now think about it. Whenever the market has a big pump or big dump, you'll tend to see a bit of sideways before it starts to move down, right? That sidewaysness is what creates the mistakes. For example, when the market moves up and goes sideways, what you don't realize is it's actually making a bit of a top to come down. But in that sideways phase, your mentality is going, it's going to go for another leg. So you make your positions bigger, right? You start taking on more risk, right? All the market has done is gone sideways, but you've made all of these changes, right? Same thing when the market drops to the downside and it goes sideways. You overtrade, you over leverage, you are reacting on these certain emotions. So I want to speak to you about the psychology of what you are going to go through when a crash actually happens. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take what the market psychology is trying to do to you, okay, and what it does to you if it gets correct. And what if you do it differently? What is then the outcome? Because I'm here to tell you this again. Losses is what makes you better in this game when you get through them, especially when you listen, especially when you upgrade, especially when you go at it again, right? And if you made the certain changes, the outcomes will be huge. But if you stayed the same and next time did the same thing, you're going to do this with your money. You're going to make money, lose money, make money, lose money. But when the drops happen and you make changes, you will tend to see that your losses are higher, right? So your money went up, there's your loss. And you actually end up over time making cash. So for example, I had $10,000, I go to 100. I lose 50,000 of it. From 50, I go to 500. I go back to 200,000. Right? Then I go to 1,000,000. Then I'm back to 500,000. Do you see my lows? You always judge your journey on your lows, right? I went from 20, 50, 100, 500. Right? So I'm in an uptrend. It's not about just winning, right? It's about your losses being better every single time. And that's how your trajectory of you succeeding in the space or any space when it comes to trading, that's how you make money and do incredibly well, right? So let's speak about the psychology. So when the market drops, there's a lot of panic in the streets, right? And it's a certain point where you will see exchanges freeze, you'll see news, you'll see all these certain things of high intense, right? And for me, we just went through this, and I saw one of my big portfolios get liquidated. I was also a little bit drunk. I had entries 50% lower, guys, 50%. This is why you're never safe. You always have to make sure that you don't get drunk. I had 50% lower entries on a leveraged and a margin portfolio. The tokens fell 80% and they liquidated. So something that was worth, I bought at 11 and it was worth 20, it dropped all the way to 6 or 5 cents. So even me, king of the world, thinking I got the best entries and I've been building this for up to 2 years, it got completely wiped out very quickly. Now, what happens then is you go through this surreal phase, specifically the first 24 hours, 48 hours of your journey. It's not going to sink in yet, right? You're going to sit there and it doesn't feel real, right? Then when you start getting towards the third, fourth, fifth day, it starts to hit you. And you start to get filled with regret. Why did I do this? I needed that. I should have done it better. I should have done this. And you start to fight with yourself and go through your brain, right? And what this slowly starts to turn into is the short-term kind of depression phase, where you just start to lose so much steam, you're driving yourself nuts, okay? And what's happening at the same time is the market has dropped and also going sideways. So in the sideways phase now, you are driving yourself crazy. And the problem with this is this can go on for a very long time. Okay, when you are filled with this redness and you're stuck within yourself, you will not see any clarity because you are basically drunk in the opposite way. You are filled in this depressed, angry sort of phase, and you're just upset what went wrong, right? You don't look at what went right or the opportunities that this has created. Because remember, when something comes down, you have an opportunity to go up again, right? And not only that, you can be better this time to do even more. There's 2 times where I have regrets in my journey. The one is when you lose money that you had, right? And the second one is, I wish I bought when I wanted to buy, right? So when the crash happens, the one box is there, I wish I could have bought when I wanted to buy, right? That's available, but you don't see that. You see, this thing destroyed me, this thing wrecked me, right? And that's the problem. And you can end up prolonging your recovery by such a long thing because you are stuck in the zone, right? Now, at the same time, the market is also in a depressed state. So you going to depressed mind, the market is creating depressed within the market, right? It's going sideways. Everyone's depressed. No one's happy, right? Then what that does is because it drives you nuts, you start to lose faith very quickly. Now, the crazy thing is there are another category of people that open trades and open investments that feel off of these emotions. So when you're down at your lowest, right, there's 2 sides. There's one that's depressed and are driving themselves nuts. And you know what? They tend to give up. They tend to just exit and kind of move down. And on the other side, they are the people that are buying, that are using this fear to accumulate. And those are the ones that take opportunity. And those are the ones that make the most money within the market. So even though a bunch of people are getting shaken out, on the other side, there are people buying within the market, right? And that's exactly the exchange of hands that starts to happen. Now, the crazy thing is when the market has a drop and goes sideways, eventually it starts to recover, guys. Sometimes it takes time because remember, they're making you drive yourself crazy. And the thing is, the moment you quit and get to that point of finish, the market starts to restart and go through these emotions. So I want to show you guys this. All right, let's jump in over here. Again, guys, no edits on these videos, just me and you. Right, here is the psychology chart. And I just made it in a very simple way, right? When markets are moving up, you have hope, you have excitement, you have euphoria. This is the easiest time to open trades, especially for those coming and starting their careers, right? This is the easiest, and especially this one. When something's done hundreds of percent, very easy for people to go sell their car, do whatever. They'll do anything at these certain points. So things are excitement, nice and green. Then there's a big drop. Now the drop comes with panic. Then there's a fake bounce, right? We don't have to get too technical here, but there's a fake bounce, okay? And then it comes down again. People get kind of angry now. Then it does this. Now in this time over here, right, you go through this massive depression phase over here. See, I have this here. Get rid of that. There we go. Right, that's the phase. Now this is where you drive yourself nuts, and the market knows that. At the same time, there are people buying here, accumulating at this point. When you get here, either you've blown your accounts, okay, either you've really lost faith, you're tired, you're exhausted, you're depressed, you're not in a good place. Crypto's not for me, it's not good for my mind. I need to stop, I need to move on, right? That's exactly this phase. Then you know what happens after that? We start to see a rally to the upside. Hope comes in, excitement comes in, and it restarts again. Guys, I'll show you this over here quickly. Just go to a random chart here, and I'll go to Bitcoin. All right, go to Bitcoin, go here to the high time frame chart, and just show you it. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Panic, depression, happiness. And we go again. Look, if you zoom in, right? Panic, depression, happiness, right? You will see it many times. Drop, 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 depression. You will see it multiple times. Drop, depression, success, right? You can see it coming through many times. So this sideways here is what gets people to really exit, and it gets exchange of hands to start going, right? So let's go back over here now. So that is the major play. Now, if you allow the market, okay, excuse my drawings, this is me just getting everything out for you guys over here. Now, if you allow the market to control your emotions, because that's all, guys, I would say, and it's a bold statement, and you know, I stand to be correct, but I would say anywhere up to 50-60% is emotional in this game. To draw lines and where to buy and sell and these type of things, that's not that hard. Psychologically, that is the hardest part. Mentally staying strong. So we go back over here. This is what happens now. Let's take the same chart. The drop happens. Okay, your emotional state drops. You then okay, surreal, and then you go into this phase, right? But look what happens. The market, you go here depressed, and it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Yet the market starts recovering and moving back up. You know what the sad thing is? The emotional state does recover at some point, but it recovers when prices are high again. Right? That's the trick. Because people come back, guys. I've been in this journey for a while now. Those who got smashed, a couple months, they come back. But they come back when the market's already high, when the emotions are green and exciting and all these type of things again. So what happens in this phase? You tend to trade from anger, the wrong emotion. You tend to be very emotional and trade, right? You revenge trade. You're angry at the market. You want it back quickly, okay? And the market knows that. Why do you think the market goes slowly sideways? It doesn't give you that opportunity, right? You get negative. You get very emotional, indecisive. You enter trade, you panic out. You get this. You start to become this nervous wreck. And every time that happens, you're taking small losses, small losses, small losses. You overtrade, you fill it with regret, you lose more money, and eventually you give up. Until a little while later, markets are up again. You've recovered, you kind of forgot, and you do this again. All right. Now let's go if you are in control. Okay, so let's make this big over here. There's the market psychology. Okay, fantastic. So when this big drop happens over here, yes, you get hit. Then you have the numb phase. Then it hits you. Okay, so the important thing is when the drop has happened, and I'm talking about trading, investing, it doesn't matter, guys. It's all the same, right? It's just different time frames that you're using. If it's short trading, it's all the same, right? These emotions play out daily on the charts, right? High time frame, short time frame, they play. But what tends to happen here, right, is when this drop happens, okay, numbness, then all of a sudden the emotions start to hit. You must feel those emotions. You need to look at, what the hell, you need to feel it, guys. It's important to feel it, but for a certain short period of time, right? When that period, let's say it's 2, 3, 5 days, doesn't matter. Sit, take a break. That's one of the first things. Take a damn break, sit back, feel it, hurt, right? Then there's a certain point where it's like, okay, I need to now get up, right? Now, how hard is it to get up when you're depressed? Not hard. It's very hard. Very hard. Trust me, trading depressed me many times in this journey, right? How hard is it to get up when you are positive? Easy, right? It's a lot easier, okay? So what it actually happens is in that phase where you're like, okay, it's time for me to get up, you actually stop focusing on trading and you do whatever you can outside of crypto to get your vibes up, right? So for example, what I did is for the first time, I read a book again, and that was huge because I tend to, when things are going good, I tend to stop upgrading Sheldon, right? So the first one is I picked up a book again. Second one, small things, guys. And it might sound ridiculous, but I just want to explain to you the mentality. I went for a haircut, made me feel better, right? Got my wife some flowers. I'm going to make dinner tonight. I'm going to do these type of things, right? I then went and did a little bit of a hobby. I like golf, so I try to play a little bit more, okay? And I just did whatever I could outside of crypto to get Sheldon vibing again. Before I come back and fix anything, I need to come back with the high vibration Sheldon. Why? Because the entire market's depressed. Everything is depressed. I need to be stronger than the market. If I'm in the same mentality state as the market's going to throw me around. Okay. If I want to come back and dominate this and turn this through, go power up Sheldon, which is super, super, super important. Little things, it can be free, it can be anything. Get your vibes up. Then you come back and you look. The first thing you do is you analyze where you went wrong. Cool. Then you're like, okay, I put too much money here. I did this, I did this, I did this. Cool. You make a list, okay? And that's exactly the education you're going to go do. Now you're vibing. You're not afraid to do anything. Your vibe is the most important thing. Emotionally, get yourself up. And you start to get hungry and this excitement. And the first thing you start with, what went wrong? And you start studying. Instead of watching 1,000 YouTubes every day and just filling your brain with knowledge, knowledge is powerful when it's aimed at something, and it's actually, instead of watching 100 things on how to trade, you know it's these 3 things that I suck at. Let me study these things specifically. Okay, you start to form that education. Now, in that time, you're not deploying back in the market straight away. You're not doing these type of things. You're upgrading yourself. And the second one is you start to analyze. You jump back in, you start to analyze the market. Before you go in, okay, you start to analyze. And you will start to see opportunity. Because when these crashes happen, guys, there is a lot of money to be made to the upside. Right? When the things start to shift, there is so much that you can do, but you can't see it when you are in that phase. When you are vibing, oh, I've learned from some of my mistakes now. I did this wrong. I did this wrong. And remember, guys, money comes and goes. Your mentality is what overpowers anything, right? If you had $10,000 and you had 1,000, doesn't matter. The 1,000 will go to 100,000. It's all the mentality. Right? So once you go through the losses, then you start looking at, okay, is there anything, because you'll see when you go through the losses, you will see, oh, but there was another option. Let me go study this option. Let me go see this. All of a sudden, oh, wait, there's an opportunity. Oh, there's something. Okay. And if we go back in over here, look how small this red box becomes versus this box over here. Right? This is where you outpower the market, right? You're over here. So the beginning, you feel the pain. Take a break. Full focus on rebuilding your fire, right? Working on yourself outside of trading. Then you work on the education of where you went wrong. You build a new plan. Opportunities start to show. Surround yourself with if you are in this market, find yourself a little community. There's so many of them, right? But not negative and no. Right? Have this powerhouse around you that you are just strong and positive, and there you are full. Guys, one thing that I learned on my journey is a weak Sheldon can do something for 12 hours that a strong Sheldon can do in 2 hours. We don't need more time. We need a stronger version of ourselves. Then we are powerful and can whoop butt at anything, right? And that's exactly it. You start to get clarity. You get back on the horse and you get back into the market and you get going. Right? So again, market shifting here. Now, again, another thing as well, and I just want to jump in here and just show you guys. There are little tools that you use. So the tools that I use is a trend line, right? And I'm actually going to show you guys something now because this is where the market is right now. Let's jump in here. I want to show you guys something. Okay. So here is a perfect example. This is where the market wrecks you. Okay. So here's the token Cardano, for example. Went sideways, big drop, boom. Guys, look at this. It's disgusting, right? And it happens, but you know what? This happened in one of my events that actually changed my life after. So you hate them, but you can also really love them. Okay, the trend line for me is one of the most powerful tools because the trend line, you only want to be trading when the trend starts shifting. So this trend line is showing you, hey, there's still space here. Don't waste your time. Why? Because the market's going to depress everyone first. And then when it's going to go up again, that is when the real money is to be made. So in this phase over here, you start building that mentality. You don't jump back into the market straight away and just put your money back in revenge trade. You start to power up. You start to study, where did I go wrong? You start to energize yourself, start building a new plan, getting things going. And when this trend line breaks, you back, baby. And when this gets back here, you back. Right? I promise you, it's one of the most biggest shifts that's ever happened in my life. Where if you try force it now, you're going to give away even more of your portfolio by trying. Because you're going to take a loss. You're going to end up borrowing more money, doing more things, doing this. And by the time this happens, you pass that on the sidelines and you don't even have any money to enjoy it anymore. You are done and wiped out. Right? That is where the market. So trend lines for me are super powerful. Again, guys, I have the daily show. I have a lot of things to teach you technical analysis. The point of this video is to show you that you can be stronger than the market, but you need to be a phase above it. The market's in red, you in mentality, you in the green phases. You're going, you're optimistic, you're excited, there's opportunity. And the only way to do that is by being happy, guys. When you're a happy version of yourself, you'll see things a lot clearer, right? When the markets are green, you're starting to shift into that red. Everyone's excited. It's time to start taking profits. You start to think a little bit in the red. And by being a step ahead, makes a massive, massive, massive difference. Guys, lots of love. If you enjoyed the video, again, tons of education coming. Let me know if this is fine. I just do drawings to edit every video. We got a lot of cool videos we'll edit, but to just do drawings and just show you guys these things, it's the quickest way for me to teach. But let me know what else you would like me to teach. Guys, have an absolute fantastic day. Doesn't matter when you're watching this video in the future, right? The same thing will happen many, many, many times. Okay, keep your heads up. Keep your emotions above the market. You got this. Never quit. And go change your life. Lots of love. Bye.